The judge said, listen, you just can't offer miscalculating or wrong and misleading and fraudulent information and then say, wait, just kidding, do your own due diligence here.
If it is a mistake and the person says, look, it's obviously a mistake, here's evidence it's a mistake, then you can't prove intent, and that's important.
They've acknowledged, Letitia James seems not, there was an error on a power of attorney form. They would try to argue that that was no intent of wrongdoing if she was presenting throughout and the bank itself did not feel it was defrauded.
CrossroadsIRL.com.
Watch as CNN yet again reveals the massive double standard of the mainstream media. I'm reacting to this video from the X account at @MazeMore. The link will be in the description of this video. Please head on over and support his account. He does some great work. And while I'm asking you to support someone else's account, please consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this video. Let's get into the clip.
Trump did acknowledge that there could have been a mistake on his financial statement when it came to the value of his Trump Tower apartment, but he said that's why his statements included disclaimer clauses. Quote, there's a disclaimer clause where you don't have to get sued by the Attorney General of New York. Is that in any way a legitimate defense?
No, the judge already found it wasn't. The judge said, listen, you just can't offer miscalculating or wrong and misleading and fraudulent information and then say, wait, just kidding, do your own due diligence here. You have to be able to rely on what's actually being said. So the judge already resolved that issue. Now, what he's trying to do, though, is suggest, and you can't have both worlds, Jake. He can't on the one hand say he's in control of everything, on the other hand say, look, everyone else told me this and I handed it over and delegated. Both can't be true on a fraud trial.
You have to prove that it's done knowingly. And so
if it's a mistake that's actually relevant criminally, it has to be, if it is a mistake and the person says, look, it's obviously a mistake, here's evidence it's a mistake, then you can't prove intent, and that's important.
They've acknowledged, Letitia James seems not, there was an error on a power of attorney form. They would try to argue that that was no intent of wrongdoing if she was presenting throughout and the bank itself did not feel it was defrauded because they had the correct information despite one false document.
Well, Jake, the key question, assuming this is in fact a mortgage fraud case, is whether Letitia James intentionally and specifically made a false representation. So as Kara said, now they're going to have to prove their case to a jury eventually beyond a reasonable doubt. And if this is a mistake or something that was done inadvertently, that's not going to be enough to support a criminal charge against Letitia James.
According to the legal experts on CNN, Letitia James can make a mistake on her loan documents, but Trump cannot. This is CNN. CNN, as always, has shown that they have double standards when it comes to reporting situations between Democrats and Republicans, Donald Trump and everyone else. And they have shown their hypocrisy yet again with an old report, an old recording resurfacing where they claim that Donald Trump could not claim that the documents had a mistake on it, and that was not a good enough excuse for him not to be prosecuted by Letitia James. Now that Letitia James is being indicted on the same offenses that she went after Donald Trump for, they are bending over backwards to try to make it seem like she made a mistake and the courts don't have to prosecute her, while they celebrated the fact that she was going after Trump when she used the same precedents to go after Donald Trump. Now, why does this matter? It matters because we live in a world that has been built over time on the assumption that there is fairness in the system, fairness in the legal system, fairness in the media, fairness in business dealings. And over the years, we've seen mainstream media show that there is no fairness in their dealings when it comes to people that they support and people that they do not support. When the story goes against someone they do not support, they go all out to make sure that they look as bad as they can possibly make them look. But when the same scenario is flipped on someone that they do support, they go the other way and try to make it look like this situation isn't as bad as it looks, and they try to convince the audience to be very supportive and understanding of the person who they support. Now, this is a clear case of being partisan, and it's okay if you as an individual are partisan when you decide to support someone no matter what they do, and you simply say, look, this is my guy, and no matter what he does, it's okay. But whenever this other guy does this, then we throw the book at them. It's fine when people who are private citizens do that. But when people who have the public trust and are expected to be non-partisan and to present the news in a neutral way, doing this, then there is a problem. And that is why there is such a pushback on mainstream media siding overwhelmingly with progressives or with liberals. And then when it comes to conservatives, they go all out to smear them and make them look bad and call them a danger to democracy or a danger to humanity. So CNN yet again shows how they are justified to be called fake news.
Subscribe.
Thanks for watching, liking, and sharing this video. Please subscribe, leave a super thank, and join my membership to keep me doing this. A huge thank you to my supporters listed on the screen. Thank you for your donations and membership.
Thanks for watching.